Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing well, doing well. Thank you for having me.
Anytime.
You
Welcome.
pick the fit, see the new jeans?
I do.
EE all day, we're dripping.
Jacket and everything.
Hell yeah, all leather. Let's go. Go cop some. All right, what do you have for me today?
All right, so we have some questions to get to know you and your brand a
Okay.
little bit better. We're going to start off with who you are, where do you come from, and what shaped you?
All right, I think that's a really good question. A lot of people will know this already, or you may not know. So I'm CZ, I'm the founder of Essntial Elemnts. I came from a third world country, Haiti. So this is where I grew up, born and raised. Baptist family, so my dad and mom, they're from the countryside. They both met in the city. And this is where I was born, and I was raised there too. So went through a lot of hardships. So early on, my parents got separated. Which is another character building fact that happens in a lot of families nowadays. So that was a fact for me growing up. Then I went to Catholic school, from elementary school all the way to college. So they always say that this is the best education you can get. They're pretty good, we'll give them that, but there's good education everywhere else. So that was part of my education upbringing. What else? So I've been playing soccer for a long time too. So throughout school, throughout college, and a little bit of professional soccer into it as well. And I'll say like athletes like Messi and Ronaldo, they kind of shaped me in a way. So they helped me understand that, how can I put this? That nothing is given and you have to work hard for what you want to get. So there's no cutting corners, and that's why I always wear this little ugly bracelet right here. It says no shortcut, no excuses. So these are the things that kind of shaped me and helped me throughout my life.
Great, those are nice insights.
Whew.
What did you do before starting Essntial Elemnts?
Okay, so before I started Essntial Elemnts, so I was in school. So right after school, I was playing professional soccer, semi-professional soccer, outdoor soccer, or football, as the rest of the world call it. So, we're different here. So America is different. But yeah, so I was playing outdoor, semi-pro. Then I play a little bit of pro indoor as well. I first wanted to go to the MLS to become a professional player, full on. But then I realized that for the level that I was at, there was no money in it, and I was not gonna be able to make a living from it, and take care of myself really. So I decided to pursue a career in corporate. So I followed that path and started using my degree because I realized I could make more money with my degree than playing soccer. So that's why I switched my paths, and I worked for a few major companies, for instance, like Citibank, Deloitte, Fisher Investments. But also, during that time, I was also a YouTuber. I love cars. I love Audis, primarily. I love a lot of cars, but Audi, I'm an Audi boy at heart. So gotta live by that Quattro, So I have a whole channel where I was making a lot of YouTube videos on Audis, reviewing every single model. So I still have that channel now, but I haven't done it in 2 years. But that was a good hobby, or, my content creation era, I would say. So.
Before the COVID content creators,
Right.
you were an original.
Yeah.
When did you first realize you wanted to start a brand?
Okay, so I realized I wanted to start something, but first I gotta give you the backstory or the background to all of that. So when I was in college, I always had a business mindset, and early on I always wanted that financial independence. That's, there's a lot of people on social media that's always like teaching about being financially free and things like this. So I wanted to look into that, to where I wanted to create something for myself to where I would become financially free. But along the way, so I got into a lot of different things. For example, like pyramid schemes. I got scammed many times. I lost a lot of money. So I'll tell you that was part of the process. So I would appreciate every business idea that would come my way, but never will really stick to one of them, which is the number one cause of downfall, because you gotta focus on one thing and make it work for yourself. So then now that was like the backstory to that. But now to get to the point where I started EE, I have to give you the story of when I was in corporate. So I was working for this company, and then everything was cool at first. So like we were very relaxed, like wearing polos to go to work, and regular business casual. But then they started enforcing this new rule, saying that, okay, everybody, like men, they gotta have short hair. You cannot dye your hair. You cannot have long hair, you know what I mean? So like everybody with man bun, they quit right away, you know? Even me, like my hair was blonde at the time, and right now it's kind of like brown. So that's not the environment for me. So when they came out with those rules, and also on top of it, so you have to wear suit and tie every day, you gotta wear button-up shirts. Nothing against dressing nice, but I'll tell you, on a daily basis for me doing like my work, I don't think it's necessary, and I like being comfortable in the first place. So that was like, okay, this is not for me. This is taking away from my comfort and my ability to do my job freely. And they're posing stuff, especially the hair. I call this hair discrimination. I don't know, don't quote me on that, but that's what I call it. But you know, but that was a big turning point for me. So I was like, okay, I need to create something for myself to where I can wear it in everything I'm doing, whether I'm going to a meeting, where I'm going to the gym, whether I'm going out like to a bar or whatever, you know, to have fun, like going to a concert. I love going to concerts. So that's one of the things that inspired me to start this brand, you know. Or one of the examples I like to take is, for example, the CEO of Facebook. So early on, every single meeting he would go to, every single presentation he would go to, you would see him wearing almost the same hoodie, you know. So that's one of the things I want to like emphasize with my brand, is that don't let the clothes or what you wear be the judge of the person, you know. So you gotta be judged for who you are and what you're putting out rather than your clothing. So that's one of the things. And another example is Alex Hormozy. So he always wear like open toe stuff, or sometimes closed toe but with no socks, like shorts. He's a gym guy, so, but he's very successful. People listen to him for what he has to say and not what he's wearing. So that's the idea behind Essntial Elemnts. There you go.
Next on our list, what personal values are non-negotiable for you?
Okay, 1 second. I gotta get comfortable real quick because it's getting hot. This is not for inside.
Nope. Nor Florida.
Right. It's good for Florida for two weeks.
2 weeks.
That's it.
And they were last week.
Right. All right. Shoot.
Okay. What personal values are non-negotiable for you?
Okay, so I have a few values I would say that are non-negotiable for me. Starting first, I would say is my spirituality in a way. So I like to learn about the Holy Father Yahweh. So that's the first or most important thing to me in life at this point, you know. Second thing I would say is taking care of myself, taking care of my body. So for everybody that know me, they will tell you that I work out every single day. I don't, but I work out a lot. I'll tell you that.
Let me think that.
I do work out a lot. So I like taking care of my body. So if my body is not functioning right, then I definitely cannot do anything else I need to do, you know. I cannot work on this brand properly, you know. So I need that. And then the last thing, and what I say, one of the most important things for me is authenticity. So one of the things that I always believed in is that I don't have to do everything that everyone else is doing, you know. So I like to separate myself. That's one thing I always believe in. Just like if 20 people are jumping off a bridge, you're not gonna jump off the bridge.
How high is the bridge?
How high is the bridge? A good question. But if they're killing themselves jumping off a bridge, you're not gonna do it, all right? So it's the same thing, it's the same way I see it. So like I like to be the difference in a way, so I can sum it up to those 3 words: be the difference, you know, like separate, not because granddad or mom or auntie believe in it or do it, that you have to do it. You are your own person, you have your own intelligence, your own character, your own wisdom, so you can do things for yourself. You have your own goals in life, your own life, you know, so you're not gonna follow everybody because they're doing this. And one quote that I did see recently, it said, and it was from a post on Instagram that I caught it, and it's a powerful thing too. It says, being different is not the problem, it's actually your power. So like if 20 people are going left and you're the only one going right, you gotta own it, you know? So always be comfortable being the difference.
Be comfortable taking the road less traveled.
Exactly.
That's the quote I was thinking of when you were talking about it.
That's a good way to put it.
There's a couple things about it, but yeah. The road less traveled is more difficult, but more rewarding. So you're
Right.
the only one on it.
Right.
You're the only
Exactly.
one stopping yourself from getting to the end.
Exactly. So like if something is easy, everybody will gravitate towards that, you know? But the hard work, when you have to put it in, that road is gonna be almost empty every time. So that's a good way to put it.
It'll be a mountain, but there's a downside to the mountain eventually.
If you go up the mountain, when you're going down, it's gonna be easier. People going the flat road, nah.
No change, no character.
Exactly. let them know, okay?
I got some quotes on me. I got
Let's go.
some one-liners. What keeps you motivated on difficult days?
Okay, yeah, that one is a good question. For that one, I would say two things. So, positivity and focus. So I'll break that down real quick. So positivity, I look at this in a way where, for example, something happens to you. A lot of times, people will quote unquote say, "Oh, something bad happened." But to me, the way I look at it is that there's a positive in everything. So whether if it's bad, quote unquote, but what I always look at, what is the positive that I can draw out from it? What did I learn? How I can move on from it, you know? How I can grow from it. So a lot of times, it's not always obvious. Sometimes you'll see it in 5 days. Sometimes you'll see it in 5 months, 5 years. So a lot of times, that's why we miss on it, because it's not instant. You don't see the positive aspect of what happened right away. So it's always delayed for the most part. So that's why we don't see it. But I tend to keep that positive mind for whatever happens, just so I can keep going, you know, and not bring myself down or anything like this. And the second thing I mentioned is focus. So always be focused on your end goal, you know, so avoid all the distractions. So there's gonna be a lot of things thrown at you, but staying focused to your goal is what's gonna pretty much propel you. So these are the two things I definitely recommend.
I saw a quote on Instagram that said, it's one of the girls that I go to F45 with, and she posted it, very similar to that. And it said, the amount of good you have in your life is based on how much you notice it.
Right.
There's always good around you, but it's up to you to like see it.
Exactly. It's power of the mind too, you know?
Okay, now we're gonna get into a little bit more about your brand. First and foremost, why the name Essntial Elemnts?
Okay, that's a very juicy question, and I can see that you're wearing your Essntial Elements sweatshirt too. So, way to represent, you know what I mean? But okay, so just to address that question, and I know a lot of people are looking for that answer too, but I wanted to pick a name that is very simple, that would convey the message of the brand, so Essntial Element. And in doing so, I realized I kind of killed two birds with one stone. So let me address the first part. So Essntial Element just means the essence of your happiness, or whatever that makes you feel fulfilled. So I'll give you a few examples to that. So for example, me, one essential element for me is working out, because I know I want to take care of myself. So it's essential in my life. Working hard can be an essential element, because without working hard, you're not gonna get what you want to achieve, pretty much, you know? Drinking coffee can be an essential element. Like if it's something that you really enjoy, and you know the benefits of drinking moderate coffee, like on a daily basis, like helps you focus and, you know, stay awake, things like this. So that can be an essential element. So a lot of people now, they love matcha. People will tend to think that it's more of a trend, but matcha has always existed. It's just becoming more popular now, but that's an essential element. Sleep is an essential element. So a lot of positive things that we surround ourselves with are essential elements. They're what makes us feel fulfilled, you know? And then just to address the second part of it, so a lot of times when people see essential in the name, they automatically think about clothing, which is correct. Because essentials are a piece of clothing that we pretty much wear on a daily basis. You know, like for instance, a hoodie is an essential, because what it does, when you step outside, it's cold, it keeps you warm. When you step in a building, it's too cold, it keeps you warm. It protects you from sun rays, things like this. So, and it's cozy, you know, people love hoodies. That's an essential. So, two birds, one stone. There you go.
Nice. What does be yourself, be in your element mean, and how did you come up with it?
Okay, wow, how did I come up with it? Okay. Well, so this slogan is pretty much essential to the message that I want to convey. That's exactly how I felt when they enforced all those rules at the company I was working. So I wanted to always be myself and not having to feel obligated to do something that company or law or rule is like pushing me to do, and which is going to take me out of my element. So get it? You know what I mean? So now this slogan, a lot of times, it's very common. Like you will hear people say, be yourself, you know, they'll say, be in your element, you know? But it tends to be very surface level, to where me, I want to take it a little bit deeper to the fact that I want to emphasize or show the importance of not being subject to pressure around you. Like for example, when society is putting pressure on you, when people are putting pressure on you, so it's key, as I mentioned before, to always be the different, to show your most like authentic self, you know? So that's the level that I want to bring out from that, not just the surface level of just, okay, yeah, be yourself, like I'm me, all right, but what does that mean? So going deeper, you really become conscious of it. So like when you're in a scenario where they tell you, okay, do this, then you can tell yourself, okay, no, this is not me. Then I gotta do how I operate, you know? I'll give you an example to that. To be myself and to be in my element, I wanna be in a position to where everywhere I go, I'm identified the same way. You're gonna look at me with the same values. I'm gonna have the same stance. I'm gonna have the same attitude. This is what truly being yourself and being your element means. You're not being influenced and for instance, you go, okay, someone's gonna be like, this person is so different when he goes over here compared to when he's over there. So we wanna bridge that gap to where we reconcile it. You are one person. You're not three different persons. You cannot be like this over here, you become fake, you know? So that's pretty much what it means.
I get you.
There you go.
Fulfill your own expectations, not somebody else's
Exactly.
expectations.
Great way to put it.
What problem were you solving when you launched Essntial Elemnts?
Okay, so now if you're following along with the story of Essntial Elemnts, so we're pretty much all about authenticity. So we want to emphasize the importance of authenticity and help people being their true self. So that's what I want with this brand. So for example, when somebody is wearing a t-shirt from Essntial Elemnts, so I want the brand, the t-shirt, to be a constant reminder for that person in that moment that they need to expose their true self and not being influenced by everything around them. So that's the key point for me with this brand.
Who is the brand for?
Okay, now we're talking about the EE Pioneers. So this is the name that we have for anybody part of our community or anybody just getting an item from us. So I would say that this brand is primarily for anybody who is looking to express their true selves or any other people that's already practicing that daily or embrace the culture or the community. So as I like to say, be seen for who you are, not what you wear.
Nice. That's a nice little line right
There
there.
you go.
What's the one sentence you want people to remember about the brand?
Okay, for Essntial Element, the one sentence I would say to remember, and it's literally right on the website, is the luxury of being unmistakably you. Summarized by, be yourself, be in your element. There you go.
Loop it back to the slogan. What won't other brands talk about?
Okay, so for us, I would say it's primarily that we want to build a community. That's the first thing and most important for us. It's not really just about like a cash grab or just selling items, selling clothing, because if you look all around you, people can find clothing anywhere. You know, that's the most popular thing, that's the most essential thing I would say in everybody's life. Everybody's wearing clothes every single day. But for us, it's all about the community. So now, if you look at our Instagram page, for example, we don't hide like counts, we don't hide comments or any of that stuff. So because we're not really in it for views or for the likes. Of course, it's helpful for algorithms and all that stuff, but social proof and all. But I want whoever is liking our picture to be the actual people who actually engage and embrace the vision of the brand, and not just people that's liking it. Because you can go and pay social media, you can just buy some followers, you can just buy some likes, you know, buy the views. You can do anything with money nowadays, but I want it to be authentic. Whoever is following our account or liking, engaging our posts, to be the actual people who can relate or who embrace the vision.
Your people are your people.
Right.
No bots.
Exactly. No bots.
No bots. How do you design a product? Late at night, 2 a.m., standing desk.
Right.
During the 9 to 5 work hour.
Right.
How do you design a product? How do you choose your colors, textures, designs?
Okay, well, the simple answer to that is as minimal as possible. So now, one thing, there's a little story that comes with that. So initially, when I started the brand, I was thinking about creating stuff for festival goers or concert goers, like trying to making like crazy design. I started making a lot of SpongeBob designs, you know, like little anime stuff. But then I realized that after I look at my closet, I'm like, wait, I don't wear none of that stuff, you know? So every single piece of clothing that I have is very, very bland, very simple. You know, so I was like, if I'm doing something that represents me, I'm not gonna be doing all those extra stuff on the t-shirt or on the hoodie, you know? I know people love those, but it is not me, it does not represent me. Just like I'm wearing this shirt right here, very simple, you know, just the brand as a reminder, but nothing else on it. So that's one thing I realized, because I was starting to make all this crazy stuff, but then I moved away from it quickly and refocused and redesigned everything. So that was kind of a restarting point for me, and going away from all that stuff that is not necessary and does not represent me. And as far as the clothing themselves, just like I would say, softness is the name of the game. So people like soft clothes, they like cool designs, oversized. So this is what I tend to look for. And I like heavyweight items as well, and non-wrinkly. So these are the main things I look for.
Nice. I will say your t-shirts kind of pair well with jeans, like they go with anything, and you can wear them for any occasion that you need to.
Exactly.
Which is another name of the game. You can wear it in a professional setting. You can wear
Versatility.
it in any setting. Yes.
That's what I say. Very good point.
Anywhere, anytime.
Exactly.
I have a SpongeBob shirt, by the way.
I know.
It's
these are retired, retired and OGs. You know what I mean?
You mean it's a collectible now?
It's collectible now.
Back in my early workout days,
Right.
It's got the 2 teddy bears on it, I think.
Yeah, I remember that.
I like that one still.
Yeah, it is. It is funny.
What are the signature pieces and why?
So as far as signature pieces, I would say it's mainly the best sellers right now. So I have so many favorites, but I'll try to keep it short. So one of the most favorite right now, or best seller of all time, is the Snow Wash t-shirt and pants. So they have the texture of jeans, but they are not jean material, and they're super soft. So everybody that purchased those, they just like, it's just mind blowing the way they like it. So these are like the best sellers: Snow Wash tee, and then the sweatpants, and then there is the Sorona, which is the one I'm wearing right now. This is like a boxy tee. So if I stand up, you can see it. This is very soft, very light, and it's quick dry. So that's what Sorona is. Another one I really like is the Enzyme Wash. It's one of our newest items. On the women's side, they love the Snow Wash tank top, the crop top. So these are favorites. And the skirt as well from the OTS collection. That one quickly became a bestseller and always selling out. But yeah, shout out to OTS collection.
My personal favorite is the crew neck.
Okay, let's go. Very professional.
Yes. What does sustainable mean for EE in terms of materials, production, shipping?
Okay, yeah, you're pretty much covering everything. So sustainability was one of the things that I kept in mind starting off the brand, because I know it's fast fashion at core, but I do want to do something that's gonna help the environment in return, you know? So that's why, for instance, I use eco-friendly shipping. I'm sorry, everybody, this is why sometimes the orders will take long, but there's express options as well. But I use eco-friendly. I use biodegradable bags for the packaging, and not the entire catalog is organic cotton, but I do have a mix of organic. So this one is kind of depends on availability. So if the producers have it at that point, then they can make the garments with organic cotton, for instance. But there are certain items that do not require organic. For example, performance, like a polyester, you know. So that's rare. That's gonna be but the producers, they make sure that they're following like environment standards, so that they're not putting out things that is going to destroy the environment that you use. So that's part of our vetting in a way. Another thing that we do use is water-based ink. They are non-toxic, and they follow industry standard as well for clothing. It's non-toxic for the people that are actually making the clothing, and it's non-toxic for the consumer as well. So that's another good aspect. But yeah, so these are some things that we're doing in terms of sustainability, and we tend to add more organic products, but it's gonna take a while to fully make the entire catalog organic. Yeah.
Nice. How do you audit suppliers and ensure ethical production?
So as far as the first part of the question, how do I audit them? That is a lot of research and communication. So like when you're looking at producing something, you first got to reach out to the manufacturer and know how to do it, learn about the process. So now one thing I would say, all of our producers are pretty much vetted in a way that we found that they are compliant with local law or labor standards, if I can put it that way, that ensure that staff is working in good condition. There is no child labor involved. So this is how we pretty much assess our producers. And also last piece is the environment. So what are they doing that's not gonna be harmful to the environment? So we make sure that all the producers that we're using, they are following those standards, like ethical standards or labor standards, environment standards. So all of those are in place. That way we work with them. It comes with a price, but you know, we gotta do what we gotta do.
What trade-offs have you faced between sustainability and cost?
As far as any trade-off in that area specifically, I would say the biggest problem, or I'll say problem or concern that I have right now is that the eco-friendly shipping, although it works in most cases, but what happens when I'm doing international shipping is that it may start with eco-friendly, but when it reaches the destination or wherever the package is going, the country, then it's handed off to the local carriers, which a lot of times not always an eco-friendly option. So at the start, it may be eco-friendly, but at the last mile, it may not be. So that's the only part we cannot solve at the moment because we don't have control over all the carriers that are in every single country. But the start, that part we can control, which is the first part of the international shipping. One thing that we do to try to negate those last mile is that we partner with Planet. So it's a program that we signed up with, and what we do, so on every order, we donate 50 cents. That's gonna go towards carbon or removal technologies. And there is an option on the website as well when you're placing an order that you can donate yourself. So I've had many customers, and I already know that people that do that, they really care about the environment. So they select and they donate 50 cents towards carbon removal. So that's another way that we try to negate all the carbon emission of shipping that we're producing. So, yeah.
Nice. I've noticed through all your answers, this is a very well thought out process. It's not necessarily taking the quickest and fastest route. It's sitting back, looking at all of the options and really going with the best one that represents your brand.
Exactly. And as I mentioned before, sustainability was at heart when we started the brand too. So, yeah.
This one I can't wait to hear about. Who were your early supporters and what stories do they tell?
Whew, oh my goodness, this is such a beautiful question. I just love it. In business in general, whenever somebody is starting something, they will tell you that friends, family, other people will not support you, really, you know. It can be true in most cases, but for me, it has been quite the inverse because my friends have pretty much been my backbone ever since I started. So if you look at the Instagram page, for instance, 90% of the people modeling, these are all my friends. They just volunteer to model. They purchase the items. And just a little Easter egg for the video, I'll say somebody who's interviewing me right now was the very first order on E. You know what I mean?
Yes, I would take that
title.
It's
you. But yeah, so I'll say that like my friends have really been the backbone. Like they always they devoted their energy. They gave me their time like to help me like create the content, bring this brand off the ground. So it's really been a fun time for me and a true blessing, if I can put it that way, to have people around me like this that are like supporting me in that sense, you know. So I call it true friends, you know. You know, it's obviously it's not every single friend or every single people I know, but the true one will really stay on your side and help you. So I've been blessed with that.
I will say you also value your friends' feedback too, and then supporting your brand. Like, I remember you would ask me, "Can I borrow your phone to see how the website looks and like get your feedback from the mobile side of it?" Or, "Hey, I know you're subscribed to the email subscription. Like, does it come through looking all right?"
Exactly.
So, your friends are your backbone and your biggest supporters too.
Exactly. Another thing I forgot to mention, we're just working with very few influencers right now, and we don't just use them because they're influencers, but we try to build a relationship with them and foster that friendship, you know. Shout out to the boys in Africa. So we got Ayo, we got Masi, there's Pat, shout out to Leda, shout out to all my friends. You got Kay, you know, Miguel, Amber, Victoria, Tink, everybody. So thank you, everyone.
It's working. One of my coworkers saw a post from one of your influencers, and I thought that was really cool that she told me that. So
there we go. That's always a pleasure to hear it.
It's getting
it's
out
spreading.
there. It's spreading. The movement is happening.
Let's go.
How can a customer become an EE pioneer?
Okay, so someone can become an EE pioneer in two ways, I would say. So ultimately, by buying or purchasing a piece of clothing, then you definitely support the brand. And you're primarily getting probably because you like it, but also because something is resonating with you and you can relate to it. And another way you can support or become an EE pioneer is by actually embracing the movement, even if you don't buy something, but by sharing your idea under a post, like just reacting to it, like commenting or just adding on to a point, that helps the movement. Like reposting, tagging, all of that helps. So you can be an EE pioneer by purchasing, or simply by sharing and reposting and engaging the brand, you know?
Okay. How do you respond to customer feedback and incorporate it into products going forward?
As far as feedback in general, so it's something that I really value, and you're not really gonna grow without receiving feedback. So nothing is perfect really. So by getting feedback, you're able to learn where you're lacking and get other insight from other people. Not necessarily changing your vision, but there people are gonna see something that you may not catch. So that's why the feedback is also important. And for instance, I'll give you an example. There was a friend that just told me, hey, look, I think the logo might be too big on this one. That's important feedback. For something that I'm putting out to the world, that is a really important feedback. That's gotta make sure that the design is looking good on the shirt, you know? I may believe that it looks great, but at the same time, if somebody's telling me something, I should be able to consider it and value that feedback. So I always say, all criticism, all like, how can I put this? All constructive feedback is important. So, yeah.
I would say both good and bad too. If something in your product line is working really well, people responding to that and leaving reviews on it is just as important as maybe
That's
the
right.
constructive criticism that goes into it. 'Cause
Exactly,
personally,
exactly.
when I buy things, I look at the reviews for it. So
Right.
knowing how a product is doing is, I think, at the forefront of most customer minds.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's very important.
How did you fund the brand at the start, and what growth path are you choosing forward?
Okay, so at this point, I would say that I'm choosing slow growth versus just raising capital, because I think in taking this path of slow growth, I am able to pretty much get all the people that actually embrace the brand. Don't get me wrong. So if I raise capital and boost like advertisement, I would still get a lot more people that will embrace it. But I think it's more fulfilling for me right now at this point in time to really like slowly put everything out there. So we work on our messaging. That give us time to actually establish what we are and who we are, you know? So that time is very valuable, rather than just rushing everything and put out something that is not complete or is not finished, you know? So that's why I choose this path. But as far as funding it, so I pretty much did everything myself starting off. Let's go in 2 years back, I used all my savings to pretty much get everything started, because there's a cost to it. So there's testing costs, you're spending a lot on that, website, all that stuff, processors, like all of it. So it comes with a cost. So I used all my savings. Then at some point I started using a huge chunk of my paychecks to like fund things like buy items, send items out to influencers, or get for my friends and myself to create content. So all of that inherently creates a cost on your sheets. So everything was done by me. I sacrificed quite a bit to get to the point that I wanted to. I mean, we're still growing and we're getting there, but I definitely delayed a lot of things, like going out, work late, like till like 2, 3, 4 a.m., even though I have to go to work the next day. So sacrificed a lot and delayed a lot of fun and traveling and all that stuff, just so I can focus all my resources on my goal.
A true entrepreneurship right here.
That's right. That's
From
right.
the ground up, literally.
Exactly.
What are your pricing decisions based on? How do you justify that value?
Okay, so justifying the pricing or the value from the items, fundamentally, it's always the quality. That's what we look at. So we wouldn't want to put out clothing that people are not gonna feel good in, you know. So that's the essence of like clothing in general. People are always looking for comfort. So we work on that, but even though we're not really putting that out in the messaging, it's an inherent thing that you should kind of like get in your mind. Even when you get the clothing, that's what you're gonna get. You know it's gonna be comfortable. You know it's gonna be soft. That's not part of our message because we know we already have that in place. That's the foundation of it. So that's the value you're gonna get for the price. But now there's a lot more that goes into pricing in items. And sometimes people will be like, oh, this is expensive. Wow, this for a t-shirt. But there's a lot more that goes into it. So you can start with manufacturing. You have printing, you have packaging, you have shipping. And to me personally, I think shipping is the biggest cost, like because I'm dealing with international shipping in different regions. When you merge like local carriers and international carriers, that adds to the cost. And another thing that goes into play is the size of a package, the weight of the package. So that's gonna vary the price. It's not gonna be, the website is showing one shipping price, but it's not, for us, it is not the same price every time. So we ended up, a lot of time we ended up paying more. Sometimes we lose on an order to fulfill it because at the same time we're trying to give free shipping on one hand, which I know a lot of people love. Who doesn't like free shipping? But at the same time, we try to price our items to a point where we're not losing more in the long run and still being able to cover those free shipping for our customers.
Kind of goes back to your sustainability shipping as well. Like the
Exactly.
quality of the items that you're investing in is a true sustainable option for you.
Exactly.
So that adds to its value.
Exactly.
Okay, this one's a loaded question. What mistakes taught you the most?
Oh man, that's a really good one. Just like I was talking earlier about about like when I was getting started, being business minded and getting scammed, pyramid schemes and all that stuff. So so recently, I would say this is probably the biggest mistake I've made with this brand, like ever since I started. So there was an order that was placed, and the processor flagged it. It gave me a warning saying, this order right here, this transaction is highly fraudulent. So when it said that, I was like, what's gonna happen? You know, the customer paid, like, we can fulfill that. That's easy enough. Okay, we went ahead and fulfilled that order. So now, the next day, the same person ordered again. We were like, wow, maybe they like the products. They like the products too much, or maybe they didn't catch it yet. They didn't know they wanted this one compared to another one, so they placed another order. Okay, that's fine, we fulfilled it. 3, 4, 5 of the same person. I'm like, wow, okay. Maybe they really undecisive. They don't know what they want. But just like the processor was saying, it ended up being a scammer. And at that point in time, it was like early stage when we started making some revenue, we lost the entire $2,000 we had in the brand's account. So that was a big mistake, big lesson. And only thing I gotta say to the scammers is 2 words. Start with an F, the other one start with a Y.
We can put 2 and 2 together.
Right. They know who they are.
Go ahead and complete that sentence in your head.
Fill in the blanks.
We keep it PG around here.
Right.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Right.
That's a tough loss, like in
It
the
is.
beginning too.
It is. And it's one of those things that can pretty much bring you down. But it was pretty much like another starting point, you know. Start building again and rebuild the account and all that stuff. So that's major. And it doesn't only happen to me. I know a lot of business people can relate to that. That's gonna be at some point where somebody or something will happen, and they're gonna lose like this too. But at least it happened to me early, and
Yes.
make sure you take heed to the freaking processor warning.
Make sure when they say fraud, you
Right.
look at it.
Oh man, but yeah, yep. When I used to make YouTube videos, I would be recording and it would stop middle. I'm out here talking and think I'm done. Oh my goodness. These were the most painful days of my life. Like when the phone stopped recording and then I'm out here talking, exposing everything just to find out nothing was recorded.
Yeah.
That's not even it. The phone will be recording. When I go home, the mic didn't connect.
I was just gonna say, you never see the videos where the recording stops,
right.
but I've seen the ones where it's like, okay, yeah, here's a minute-long video. By the way, my mic died like 45 seconds into the video, so this is gonna be a voiceover now.
Right, exactly. Oh, what we have to go through.
Where do you see Essntial Elemnts in the next 5 years? What product lines, new products excite you?
Okay, 5 years, that's a long time. So I definitely want to accomplish a lot of things in 5 years, and hopefully it will happen. And with the support of everybody else, hopefully this will happen. But we're pushing for instance, starting up a lot of pop-ups, local, or depending on how we grow, we can do different states, different fashion shows and things like this. And I definitely want to start like having events, like EE events, like to where people will come and, you know, gather together, really emphasize the message in the community that we're building around here. And also as far as collaborations, I do want to create collaborations with maybe other brands, like, you know, so create partnerships with other brands. So that's going to be like a huge thing. And I think it's very important for growth and also visibility and business-wise. Another thing, maybe in 5 years, you never know, we might grow to the point where I have a local store, you know, instead of doing pop-ups, then have a physical location to where people can actually just come and shop and try the items. So that's important. As far as product lines, one other thing that me and my twin was talking about, when I say twin, I'm talking about my fiance. So we were talking about like eventually have a baby line, you know, something like this. And another friend was telling me like we can start creating pajamas, you know. So these are good ideas. So definitely, I'm keeping them in mind. So these are gonna be the next thing.
Idea.
Pajama, yeah.
That was a nice idea.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother market right there.
There you go. Say less.
Start doing holiday pajamas too.
Yeah, I know. Like Christmas or all that. People love it.
Christmas, Halloween,
yeah.
Any of that. How do you want people to feel after watching your videos or wearing your pieces?
Whoever's wearing our pieces, I definitely want them to feel comfortable wearing them, that's for sure. Despite the fact, primarily always focus on the message, that's important for us, but also we want our customers to be satisfied with what they're getting. And so far, like all the feedback that I've been getting, I've been really thrilled that people really love the products, so which is a great thing, great sign always. How I want them to feel is that they're part of a bigger purpose, which ties back to the message of the brand of being yourself and always showing that authenticity, always being yourself no matter what. So somebody say you can't do this, who says you can't do it? You can do anything, you know? So don't worry about what people are saying, kill the noise and just be yourself.
I feel it's safe to say you want people to also feel confident in your clothes.
Yeah.
One, in who they are, and two, in how they look when they go outside or to work or to wherever they're wearing their
Exactly.
pieces.
Just the embodiment of true authenticity. You know what I mean?
How do I pick the right size, and do you have any recommendations for sizing?
Okay, so as far as sizing, sometimes I know it can be tricky, but we do our best to just put the size guides. Oh, so one thing I can mention about the sizing, when you look at the tables for the sizing, it's just showing the size of the item flat. So it's one side of the item. So let's say it says 22 for length, or let's say it's for the waist is 22. So you just have to multiply this by 2. So it's gonna be like a 44. So that's more like a larger XL or whatever, you know? So that's how our table is structured, but we try to put as much information as possible. For example, in the product detail section, also in the sizing itself, just to tell you, okay, so if you're this tall, then we recommend this. So we give recommendation. And also, just feel free to reach out to us via email. We can always guide you anytime, or just DM on Instagram. So whichever way is more easier for the customer, we're trying to meet them there.
How should I care for my EE garments so they last?
Okay, so as far as caring for your product, it's fairly easy. So just tumble wash or tumble care if the washer has that option. But also I recommend cold water or temperatures around 30 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that was that in Fahrenheit. Get the math or ask ChatGPT, whatever. But yeah, so like low temperatures, cold water if possible, and then when it comes to ironing it, so do not iron on top of the prints or any of that, just leave that area. So these are my recommendations when it comes to that. And also you can make sure you use the de-wrinkling setting of your dryer or even the washer too. So.
Do you recommend air drying? Is it safe to dry in a drying machine?
It's safe to dry in a drying machine. You can air dry if you want. You can just hang it and it's gonna air dry. You can steam it. So with the steamer, you can pretty much roll the steamer on top of the, whether it's the logo or any other graphic that's on it. So that's fine. But as far as ironing, do not iron the logos. It is biodegradable ink. It is non-toxic water-based ink. So if you're ironing it, it's just gonna keep spreading. So don't do that.
If you want a smudge logo.
Right. If you want some shadowing in the logo, go ahead.
What's your return exchange policy in simple terms?
Okay, in simple terms, no returns. But we do exchange items. So exchange, quote unquote, because we're not returning it, we're not taking it back to change it for something. But we do replace the item, if I can put it that way. That's the better word for it. So right now we're not taking returns because we do not currently have a facility to hold or to ship all those returns to, because we're shipping internationally. So now that's gonna be a bit hard to return items because we cannot issue a return label for each country because there's so many carriers involved in the shipping of the items, so that it becomes tricky. So if it was the US, for instance, it's gonna be easier. We can just use one carrier like USPS, or we can use UPS or FedEx, something that's like common in all the states. But when it comes to other countries, they don't all have the same carriers. So we do not have a facility that's gonna accept those products back. So we always recommend, if you have something that you're replacing, you can just email us. We can do like the one-time courtesy replacement. And then whatever is not fitting you, you can either donate it to a family member, a friend, or you can donate it to any charity. Just put the item to good cause. That's it. Don't just throw it in the trash or anything. Just leave it in your closet and not use it. So just put it to good use. That's it.
It's not very essential to throw it away.
Right.
Where can customers find limited drops and early access?
Okay, so early access, that's very simple. It's traditional. You just sign up to the emails and then you're gonna get emails to what's coming. But also I think the Instagram is usually our central point as well. So anything that's coming, we'll announce it on Instagram as well. So if you sign up to the email, you can that's where you usually get like all the discounts, promotions that are happening, because you're probably not gonna see it on Instagram. So which we probably should change, but that's the exclusivity that you get if you sign up to the email. Then you can get early access, like you stay up to date with what we're doing, what's coming, what we have, things like this. But also Instagram is a second avenue, a second channel for that.
Subscribe.
And YouTube, maybe. YouTube, it might be on YouTube too. We do have a YouTube channel.
Part of the 5-year plan.
Right.
From watching you start this in the beginning, super, super proud of you and everything you've done. I can tell how much thought and effort you put into all of this and how much it means to you. And I think you've done a very good job of conveying that in your message and in your digital footprint that you're leaving. Amazing. I really appreciate that. And it's feedback like this that definitely always keep me going. So I really appreciate all the feedback that I get, but all the positivity that I get, surround myself with, that keeps me going too. So I really appreciate that. Anytime. It means a lot. Yeah, let's go. Round of applause. To the moon. To the sky. Final cut. Let's go.